All right, so got a 3v3 here. Got the good old squad. I'm still playing USF. Nope. Oh, they switched out this game, so Nope is gonna try USF and he's gonna go for recon support because he just got the commander. He has absolutely no idea how to use it, but that doesn't matter. Lemon here is gonna be helping us to carry the game. He's switched over to Soviets. It's my philosophy that in allied team games you gotta have at least one Soviet. Having like 2 to 3 usually rounds it off really well because back in the day Soviets were like the meta, alright, for team games. The USF had troubles going on into the late game, and so did the Brits, but that was quite a long time ago. And the current meta as it is, everything's more balanced. All the factions have their roles. They can all help out in some way and still be effective. But this game was supposed to be like a meme game kind of thing. We weren't trying to like metagame the whole thing, so I'm gonna go airborne because Nope is going recon support, and I figured having 2 airborne armies would be kind of fun to have. May not win, of course, but you know, it'd be cool. My strategy for going airborne here is that you use the Pathfinders to spot targets for the Jacksons, and that's basically the late game strategy. Combine that with the rocket P-47 rocket strafe ability, which is pretty strong. It's been changed a couple of times, but it's still pretty good. So I'm going up north here. This here is the cutoff point. So it doesn't matter whether or not I get the fuel, although it would be better if I do get the fuel. But so long as I deny it to the enemy, I'm happy, at least on this flank here. So our friends down here in the south, things not going too well. Walking the MGs. So a little bit slow there with the flank, but I'm just trying to make sure that this MG hasn't switched around. So I've got everybody closing in from 3 directions here. And yeah, this side I managed to do quite well actually. He doesn't go for any grins in the beginning, so I've got early game advantage here in terms of infantry. He can't stand up against the rifleman, especially when his MG is, you know, on retreat or out of position. He's gonna get a second one though. I'm gonna run into some trouble. So the idea for the early game build here is 3 riflemen with the Pathfinder in support along with the rear echelons. So here I managed to win the north side. So I get the feeling, considering how that engagement went, this guy is in that kind of like infantry focused, kind of micro intensive kind of guy. He's gonna just sit around with MGs. So I've got to take this opportunity here and help our friends down here in the south who have lost the flank. We have the initiative. I have the units. I haven't taken that many losses. All my riflemen are pretty much fresh for the most part. Setting up beacons. Not a good placement for beacon, but I'm just setting up here so I just get some warning on the minimap here in the event that I do eventually get flanked by the northern guy. But yeah. That's just the reasoning behind just setting up a beacon. Just any kind of beacon better than no beacon. So we get in behind. Once we spot the MG, I'm just rushing in towards the MG because this is the thing that needs to go. Once that's gone, I'm not gonna bother trying to like deal damage to this. What I usually try to do is just try to outmaneuver the opponent and force them to retreat. That way, we win the engagement. We don't get much damage in or kills in, but it basically removes them from the field, and that allows us to capture the field. And then after that, that will allow us to set up a defensive position so that they will have to attack us. Right? They have to counterattack us, and we usually do better in counterattacking than in attacking. So in this case here, things went really well with my flank, so I managed to turn around here. So in the meantime, however, Cyan Wehrmacht player here is regrouped. So he's playing poorly because, considering the fact that all 3 of us are down here south, he needs to go in and make sure that they get the fuel, basically, because we've given up a flank for the most part. We've exchanged flank. get a wipe here. Nice. Oh, now that this is all handled down, I'm gonna go back up north. See what I can do.
Don't you break on me!
So I get the ambulance quite early because in team games, in my experience, there's a lot of things that happen and you can't keep track of everything. And, I usually have trouble keeping an eye on my flank, so I usually get flanked a lot and I take a lot of damage and lose a lot of bottles.
Ready for action.
So I usually get the ambulance right after my 4th infantry unit. Usually, in this case, if I didn't go airborne, it would be a lieutenant that's already out by now. Then I get the ambulance, then an MG. But yeah, he's super passive. And I don't play as well as I should have against this guy. I know I'm a much better player in terms of if it was a one-on-one, he wouldn't stand a chance. But I make quite a few mistakes here because I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. I feel like because I have the sense that I'm a better player one-on-one against this guy, that I should be able to rush in and just wipe him out so that I can immediately come back and flank again. But that's not the way it works. Going head-on to the guy, especially when he's got all the MGs set up, that's not how it works. So I underestimate the enemy, or I overestimate my abilities. I should have just taken my time to just engage this guy, secure the flank, try to do as much damage as I can, and when the opportunity permits, then focus on flanking. The idea of helping my teammates by flanking around to the enemy as like the main objective, that was a mistake on my part. But I still do quite okay here. Just have a look at what's going on down here. So the yellow guy, he's got a pretty good okay build. 3 Gwens, supported by machine guns. He's now got a flame half track coming out. If we have a look at the blue player has also got a slightly more well-rounded army, at least more well-rounded than the cyan player. So basically he sets up his MGs to cover a 360 degree and has a support weapon sit in the middle. I'll be back later for him. I get a steward, I believe, so I can deal with that. So our friends here get repelled. Now, I'm not entirely sure how well the... okay, so Nope has gone for his, normal, unusual builds. I don't recommend 2 IR Pathfinders. I mean, theoretically, and quite a few people do this, they just go with full Pathfinders in the early game. But I don't recommend Nope to do that because it's not something that I think Nope should do. I don't think he can handle it. But yeah, okay. So he's got 2 Pathfinders, 2 rifles. We got the OP shock troops. They're not that OP, but I really like them. Lemon here, gone straight for shock troops and out of the cons. I'm assuming he's taken losses because this is a pretty small Soviet army to have at 8 minutes. Only about 4 infantry units with no support. Is he rushing for the T-70? I think he is rushing for the T-70. Can't recall. So usually my build is go lieutenant and then unlock the mechanized platoon. What's it called? This thing here. Yeah, mechanized platoon command post. And then go for the steward. And then I skip the captain. And in this build you can because I've gone airborne, so I can get the AT guns, which is usually the only reason I go captain. I still haven't figured out how exactly to use the pack howitzer. Haven't been brave enough to venture forth and experiment with that yet. But yeah, my build is go into lieutenant, get MGs, get the steward, and then go straight to major, and then get out the armor. With recon support, in the old days, you could do that because recon support used to give you AT gun with the combat group. That's not the case anymore. They give the howitzer. So it might be a good idea to go captain if you're going recon support because you're gonna need some kind of AT. I'm just gonna see how Nope deals with this. He should be getting the bazooka. Yep. He's only just started though. It's gonna be a little bit rough. with Americans, if you want to like deal with early game armor, and if you don't want to go captain, it's basically you need to get the requirements here to unlock the AT snares on the rifleman, and then get a bazooka on the lieutenant. And if your micro is good, that's all you need to hold off early game armor that the axes throw at you. So I'm still making mistakes here, running the MGs and whatnot. He's set up a bunch of bunkers, and set up like 2-3 more on this side. But so long as I hold this point here, you know, the cutoff point, he's not getting any fuel. I know we're not getting fuel, but at this point, considering the fact that we have not been able to hold the southern flank, it's not the best scenario, but it's better than having the enemy have both fuel. So I'm trying to just make sure this is what I can achieve here to help the team out. But Nob decides to come over to me, to my side and flank, which is pretty good because he's just got MGs. I've chased one out. And yeah, he's got nothing much here. And they haven't had much success down in the south here. The problem with going shock troops this early is that manpower gets bled quite a lot, especially when you take losses. Lemon's gonna rush armor, and he's gonna get the Katyushas later on in the game. That's gonna help us out a lot. So I got the Steward out, ready to roll. Called in some paratroopers. I've been able to keep my units alive a little bit longer into the mid game. In the late game, everything goes to hell, but you know that's the nature of the game for the most part. So everything around this guy's build is around the MGs. MGs basically protect everything else that he's got, which is basically just mortars and engineers. Once you dislocate the MG, everything else falls apart. We got a Greyhound out. So the problem with the recon support is that the Greyhound comes in at like 4 CP, so it's a little bit RNG depending on whether or not you can get your command points fast enough. But at 12 minutes, you can still make it work. I mean, I've only just got my Steward out, so it's a pretty okay Greyhound in terms of timing, in my opinion. So we've got our light tanks rolling out now. Lemon's got his Su-76 somewhere. Oh, yeah, repairing. So got one pack gun here in the south, and ooh, he's getting a Panzer IV out pretty fast. Yeah. So here in the south, we technically do have an armor advantage. You have to be very careful if you want to utilize it. I don't think that's what we do here. I end up going back up north because they said they had it handled here. They're gonna have a counterattack going on. Yeah, once they're retreating, you gotta focus fire and knock out the important stuff here, which in this case, the AT gun. Once you've got the infantry handled, you immediately switch over and knock this out. This allows for the armor to move in. So yeah, it's a pretty good attack going on here. Oh, there's Panzer IV. Alright, good push. Alright, captured the pack gun. Turn around, turn around. Come on, turn around. Oh, shame. Yeah, I needed one of the riflemen to move up and snare the Panzer IV, and Lemon has lost his Su-76.
now deploy B4 super heavy artillery guns.
Lemon's still running a small army, so we have to depend on Nope here with this massive infantry corps. I mean, he's gone for both now. I suppose you can. Nothing fundamentally wrong with that. Both officers.
Objective secured.
It is actually a good thing because you got access to AT gun MG, and you don't need to upgrade into the mechanized command post and whatnot because you already have the Greyhound access to that, and you also have the howitzer. So you basically, with going recon support and going both officers, you have access to basically almost all of the USF roster, the main roster that is. So I managed to wipe out this guy here in the north. He's not beginning to counterattack. He's gone like 2-2-2-2s. This is the second one I think he's got. Yeah. And I managed to push into the middle here and managed to get my second flank going. But in doing so, I've abandoned this flank. He's going. I think I just lost to Stuart to these two Panzerschreck groups. 16 minutes anyway. It's bound to happen. Yeah, got a good flank going on again. It's this blue player that we really needed to keep an eye on. He seems to be the more competent player out of the three of them. Yellow's doing pretty good as well. Managed to get another Panzer IV out. So they've got their armor rolling out now. Cyan player is lagging behind quite a fair bit. He's gone for 2-2-2s at 15 minutes or so. And as you can see here, just sitting here. In my mind, I'm thinking I should be able to, dislodge this because he's just sitting there being completely passive. In terms of micro, I'm far superior. But as I said just now, if you let him set up though, you're gonna make things harder on you. And if your mindset is just trying to flank the other side, you're trying to do too many things. You're trying to hold your flank, fight a 1v1, and at the same time trying to create pressure on the other side to help your teammates. You can't do it all. Theoretically, just trying to hold on to the cutoff point in the field, that helps the team out. So I've called in the AT gun here after losing to Stuart. So I'm still waiting for the fuel to get the tanks out, and I am floating a lot of manpower.
Enemy squad! God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
I'm floating a lot of manpower. Oh, nope, Sid. Oh my. So we're all floating manpower, but we've got massive armies here. It's kind of weird because usually the Soviet player has the largest infantry army, but the Americans in this game here are providing all the blood. This manpower can disappear after one regroup stage because, I take a lot of losses in my games. I mean, right there, yeah. Pretty sure they do survive, but I need to replenish that, so that all that manpower is about to disappear. So I use the Major as like a forward artillery spotter, just calling it his artillery ability. So it's gone pretty well. Now later on as the game develops, we get into a lot of big armor engagements, and that's where the real fun begins. One wipe there.
We have lost an MG team.
I have taken some losses now. Lost one rifleman. And Stuart. I've got the Sherman rolling out now.
Warning orders, man.
I'm not too confident in setting up the Major on the forward operating base because, as you've seen in this game, I've been moving around a lot. I've been coming here, dislodge this guy cap, and immediately move into the flank, and then move back and cap. Now, I know that this guy is very passive, but I don't want to take the chance that he might just wake up have a sudden realization that, oh, maybe I can turn the flank here and help the team out a little bit, and then just walk into my major. And because I'm going to be trying to micro on the other side, usually the major dies really fast in that scenario. So what are these guys up to now? Start rolling out their panzers. There will be a lot of panthers, a lot of panthers in this game. They don't go for any tigers and whatnot. I think they do go for an elephant. I'm not too sure. I can't recall. So I'm getting my paratrooper army rebuilt. Like I said before, for late game, riflemen don't, fresh riflemen, right, new riflemen, they don't perform that well in late game. Usually you have to depend on a doctrinal unit for the USF, and in this case here I've got the paratroopers. Rangers do fine as well. I prefer paratroopers because of what the ability you can do with the pathfinders, which I will utilize in the late game here to help us win the game in the end. But yeah, in giving a player like this room to operate, you give him chances to dig in, like, really dig in, because he's got MGs and bunkers placed all over the area. And I've only just rolled out my Sherman. This was a poor attack because I didn't wait for the Sherman to come in. It's only now moving in. Managed to get some good wipes, and I managed to dislodge him again, but I've suffered a lot of casualties. Should have just waited an extra 15 seconds for the Sherman to show up and hit him all at once. That would have been much better. Wouldn't have taken so many losses, but I'm very impatient, and I'm still in the mentality that I need to come down here and flank these guys. When really just trying to hold on to this fuel would have been fine. They haven't been contesting the middle, which is nice. He's getting out his Jackson. He's got all the officers. 2 IR Pathfinders, very nice. You need to put bars on the Pathfinders. That's where the damage is at. Oh, do you have bars on the Pathfinders?
Looks like we're going in.
No, doesn't look like you do. You're missing out. Nope. You need to put the bars on the Pathfinders. So, regrouped. Dislodged again.
Leichter Panzerschmähwagen reporting.
Standing by.
Who wants a Panzerschreck?
He's teching up now, only now, whereas these guys are already getting out their heavy armor. But in this case, this guy's going to put Panzerwerfer. Panthers will be coming out soon, though. Blue player hasn't teched up yet either. Just bringing out more Panzer IVs, which at this point in time, I mean, is not really good because nobody's already got Jackson out. That's good. Now I remember why. Lemon was so I went airborne because I told you at the start it was going to be like a sort of meme game. So Nope wanted to try recon support. I figured go airborne to have the paratrooper army. And what Lemon picked was to go B4s, which is what he's done here. I think that was why he kept things a little bit small so that he could build the B4s in time. I think that was his strategy going on there. Walking into triple MGs here, all set up. This is proper defense in depth here, historically accurate.
Our opponents are seizing a sector. The enemy has killed a machine gun crew.
The only AT this guy has are these two Shrek clubs. Well, it's not really a Shrek club, just two Shrek Panzer Shrek teams, Panzer Grenadiers. So we got a B4s rolling out. Lemon is going for a half track. I can't remember whether this was for AA purposes or not. We'll find out, I suppose. Well, Yellow going with his support weapon build. So Panzerwerfer is an okay strike. Managed to turn the flank here. Got HE loaded on Sherman, so we've like basically wiped out his support weapon army here. So Nope here has managed to keep his army alive for the most part. So have I, but losses are about to occur. And after that, it goes on to the armor engagement.
Our supply line just got cut off.
So I've decided now, instead of just trying to flank, because we've basically given up on the south, we're focusing on the VPs now. And Nope and Lemon are just going to focus on the middle here. So I'm switching off now to just focus on the north. Walked into that right there, wasn't too careful. So I set up the major behind this church here. So I can immediately respond, hold on to this area.
We just lost a unit.
I believe I lost one of my paratrooper squads there. And a lot of mistakes going on here. Try to snare that, but wasn't the wisest decision. So getting the Jackson out now, need to deal with the Boombar. He's now got 3 Panzer Grenadiers or Shreks. I need to keep watch out for that. And now he's getting a Panther out. Okay, alright.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
So in focusing my efforts and trying to move around the map a lot, I've given this time enough room to tech up. And it doesn't matter how bad his micro is or what ideas he has around maneuvering his forces. Once he get the tech up and we're behind, you know, just so long as the units are in play, we're gonna run into a lot of trouble, which we do later on. Nope has called in his combat paratrooper drop. So Nope doesn't know how the beacons work. So basically the beacon is a respawn point for paratroopers only. And the way you go about this is that if you crew support weapons as well with paratroopers, you get that ability to reinforce any kind of paratrooper unit. It's only the paratrooper infantry squads that at Vet 2 they get the healing ability, or at least they used to. Oh, it's Vet 3 now. Okay. Well, they get healing basically, but the support weapon paratroopers don't. So the yellow Wehrmacht player has got 2 Panzerwerfers, so he's being the support unit guy as usual. It's the blue player still carrying this flank here. He's got the most well-rounded army. And here I run into more problems. So yeah, I've given way too much space for this guy to figure out what kind of build that he wants. I'm gonna start running into trouble here. I have lost... What have I lost? Another infantry squad of some kind? you create distance, keep the Pathfinder spotting the armor, the Jackson can hit it from outside its range.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Nope, came up here to the north side again, try to help.
Get ready. Factory, boys. Stick with me and you might just make it. Off the front!
Tank destroyer here.
Yeah, so you went the AA half track for the, he went the half track for the AA, nothing else.
You have orders?
Both B4s set up for the middle. I got 2 Jacksons out now. That's more than enough to handle this Panther and take out the Roomba to pick it off. The only problem is that I've taken a lot of infantry losses, so trying to deal with the Panther Shrek blob, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. And now we run into normal USF problems here, so no more manpower for me. All that manpower that we had, it's all gone now. Nope is still sitting at 1,600. He has a massive army that he's managed to keep it health-wise okay. And yeah, interesting. With 320 fuel as well, wow. Should be a mechanic to give your teammates the manpower, because I need that manpower.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Nice pathfinding. Nice, I don't know what you call that, but oh dear.
Listen up, lock down, loaded.
I'm saving up manpower trying to replenish the infantry reserves here, because I'm lacking infantry. The AT department, the 2 Jacksons, that's all you need.
Pathfinder's ready for action. Watch for my
The capture point is being overrun.
Oh, nope, with the pack howitzer here. I didn't realize that in the game.
got a Panzer Shrek! They're flanking us!
We're gonna lose power!
Nope's going for the world record here for most manpower. 2,000 in the bank.
Gun crew just got wiped out.
Hey, I need a mag!
Goodbye. Building 2 more Panzer Grenadiers. Huh. But you really needs more engineers, because you can't keep your armor in the game for a lot of time.
Ready for orders.
So they're all regrouping. I do believe the blue player gets a Panther out as well.
Grenadiers.
So after about 10 minutes, letting the Cyan player here dig in, attack up, manage to reclaim the fuel in the north side of the
Forces are
map.
securing our territory.
B4 shots. missed the opportunity to hit the AT gun wall here. That's the really big target.
200 points remaining.
So considering that only the yellow player has the elephant to deal with our tank destroyer spam here, they are just playing into our game for the late game here. Because our late game strategy is always around tank destroyers. We try to screen tank destroyers with infantry in front, spot targets, and then pick off their armor one by one. And I once again run into more problems here. So finally got the second paratrooper squad in. I think I called in this AT gun as well, so I've got the paratroopers manning the AT gun, put it next to the beacon here. I can reinforce that, but I am out of manpower.
Jump complete! Fire!
So I used to be a big fan of putting Thompsons on the paratroopers, but these days I'm going for like the meta build. That's the LMG usually. If it is necessary, I will put the bazookas on them. Ooh, that was close.
300 points remaining.
So we have not been able to keep up the pressure from the early game into the mid game here. We've been stalled here in the middle, and we've stopped contesting the southern flank. So the enemy, despite us having a pretty decent early game, the enemy have been able to regroup.
We're back to full strength.
Nope has put a bar on the major. You don't, if you're trying to get the experience on the major only needs to be nearby units that gain experience, and he will gain some of that experience. I'm pretty sure that's how it works for all the officers. You don't need to be worried about getting kills on the major to get the experience in on that. Oh, Nope has already broken the 2,000 manpower, 400 fuel, and 300 munitions, so very nice. I don't think he has used the cluster bombs. I mean, that would be very helpful once we get the spots on the AT gun wall that the yellow player has. Oh, actually, they've already been wiped out. The cluster bombs, they also work on that. Panzerwerfers deal some damage. And if you hit vehicles with them, they get stunned and blinded. That's helpful as well. We've got a Vet 3 Greyhound. Close. Oh, okay. Managed to pick it off my Jackson on flank there.
One of our panzers has been destroyed.
And whilst I'm flanking the middle, Cyan player still sitting here on this flank, constantly trying to contest. Even though he's been here the entire time, he's only been able to capture and hold the field point for like a good 5 minutes or so over the whole game. So I think I did all right. Not the best. Definitely made a lot of mistakes. Should have gone better on this flank, but oh well. I'm surprised we managed to hold on this long, considering the fact that Lemon has a really small army. And Nope is still sitting on 2,000 manpower. Oh my.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
Double Panthers. Later on in the game, he does wake up and come to the middle. Pretty sure that's what happens. That's how I recall the game going.
Squad, on me! Serial down. Paratroopers ready. Drop complete. Everyone here?
Oh my, he's lost most of his infantry. Lost one Pathfinder. That was, I'm pretty sure it was vet 3. He need to replenish the infantry. Nope. Just spam the paratroopers. Get like 3 pack howitzers and 3 paratroopers. That would be more than enough. I think that was major artillery here calling in.
We lost a gun crew.
Oh, Hope's taking losses now. So I've got the vet 3 paratroopers in my
All done over here.
drop zone. So how many? I've got 1 beacon here. I'm sure I have another beacon set up somewhere. Just behind there. I need to set up another one somewhere here. Give vision on the southern flank and expand the drop zone. But 1 beacon's more than enough. It's a pretty large range, as you can see here.
Capture point is
Now they begin to
just got
flank.
wiped out. Our supply line
So it's
just
at this
got
point I
cut
start
off.
calling for support because he's just going to go straight in. Why, I do not know. So I need to deal with this Shrek blob first because they can do a lot of damage to the Jacksons. And I need to reposition all the AT so that I can catch his tanks as they try to retreat because he's all cut off here. So yeah, the call by help goes out. Nope and Lemon respond. It's 1 Panther down. Got him caught. So yeah, he's overextended. I don't know why. He didn't achieve anything. There was nothing there to achieve for the most part. And now we're just trying to chase this guy down. I told him to go back because 1 Panther out, he's in full retreat. What I should have done was try to cut him off here instead of going around this way. So he retreats the machine gun, not sure why. A little bit of poor maneuvering here. Should have moved the Jacksons up a little bit. But then again, I didn't have any vision here. So it could have been like all this another Shrek crew behind the woods. So once again, we reclaim the north. This large Cyan player. Not a very good play there, should have just immediately retreated and saved the grenade. Okay, caught out the whirlwind, he's gone. Take a look at the rosters again. So blue player here, he's got 2 Panzer IVs and a Panther, supported by a decent, well-rounded infantry army. And Nope is still trying to break the world record for most manpower reserves. He's also sitting at 600 fuel as well. I mean, with that, you should be able to bring out like 3 Jacksons. That will immediately win the game right here. Lemon. So everybody's sitting on resources except for me because I've been running around the entire map trying to help everybody. Okay, fair enough. I mean, build-wise, a little bit more infantry and more armor, and that's it. That rounds it off pretty well. You have to be careful with the paratroopers when you're trying to use it, because sometimes you're under the impression that the reinforce rate is a little bit faster than what it actually is. So you can actually lose the paratrooper squad when you're waiting for the reinforce to come in, which is not good. I think I lose one of these squads here.
Our supply line just got cut off.
Oh, is that the Panzer Warfare? Yeah. guys? Is Cyan have Panzerwerfer? No. Oh, it's the yellow player that's helping him out now. Oh dear.
Airborne on the ground.
We've got 3 paratroopers now. I decided to go for one with the bazookas because having trouble chasing down his armor for the most part. I think in reality I should have just stick with the LMG. That's what I really need. I mean, I've got 3 Jacksons out. With the 3 LMG paratroopers, I can deal with these Shrek blobs. I mean, come on, guys. You got all the resources in the world. They don't stand a chance. I mean, they have next to nothing. Okay, this other guy is floating tons of manpower as well. Interesting. So is Cyan player. Weird game.
Our opponents are seizing a sector. We fight bravely for the Reich. The enemy is down to 200 points.
So I'm gonna regroup, reinforce, get the infantry back on the field. So we've got all the field cut off, so they're not getting that much. Well, I mean, they also have the cutoff, but nobody's getting the field for the most part. It's okay if we don't get the fuel as long as the enemy doesn't get the fuel. Shame.
Your crew just got wiped out.
Yeah, I'm ready. Paratroopers ready for action. This is not good.
So we have another contender for the most resources in the game. Yellow player comes back again. Oh, okay, so this is where it happens. This is where all the armor and all the Panther spam comes out. So, yeah, the Panzerwerfers go in, soften up, and now they're going to make a big push. Once I see them moving in this close, because they usually never come this close, I just immediately pull back the major. I don't think the ambulance gets out in time, but that's okay. But yeah, 6 cents here, pull back everybody.
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
So both of them are pushed there. I tell everybody else you need to move in the middle or somewhere else because they're all here.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Nope's got a Vet 3 rifleman squad sitting in the base. So yeah, you don't go fresh rifleman because there's no point here at the late game. You gotta spam out the paratrooper support squad. Which I mean you have plenty. Oh wow, you ran out of munitions. Out of everything you run out of munitions.
A medium tank was just lost.
Time to B4 around, trying to get shot off. I don't think he gets it off in time. So we've got nothing to screen the tanks here with infantry. I'm the only guy with infantry left on this flank. Actually, considering it, I am the only guy with proper infantry. Nope's hanging around with this stock rifle squad, so yeah, I lose a ton there. And that did not go well for me. I don't recall the game going that bad. Because Cyan loses pretty much everything as well. Yellow has managed to keep his armor alive for the most part. The blue is untouched. So I gotta depend on my teammates here from now on to stall the enemy while I rebuild my army. But considering the fact everybody's still sitting on tons of resources, you know, just gotta wait, I suppose.
Sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
So I still have my Pathfinders. Got the Paratrooper Bazooka Squad. Only now I need to just wait and rebuild the infantry. dislodge Cyan player again.
Incoming! Good effect on target.
Blue player is getting a second Panther out. So we're maneuvering to the middle here, but they don't push in. Caught that one Panzer IV out in the
We
open.
have lost a Panzer.
Troop, stand by. Enemy contact! Contact! SC-42!
That 3 Greyhound goes down. I think at this point in the game, what I end up thinking is, because I'm sitting on this much fuel,
Carrier tank ready.
might as well go for like a full armor build of some kind. But later on, as the game progresses and we get a little bit more into the late game, it's infantry that we're all lacking, because I have lost everything. Lemon has just kept his army into these like 3 to 4 infantry units. That's all he has for the entire game. And Nope is Nope doing all right. So we've got the range on them, but we are losing the flank here on the left side. We do not have enough. We don't have any infantry screens because all our infantry had pretty much gone.
Losing a capture point.
I think we get lucky there. If the yellow player had just moved in with his Panthers, I mean, that's it. There's nothing left here. Okay, he finally does move in with his Panthers. Huh, I get really lucky here. Wow, they both survived. Huh. So they could have ended the game right there. There's nothing left. Yeah, we've lost pretty much everything at this point. Lemon hasn't fielded an infantry army. He's trying to go for his artillery support weapon build. Which at this point, because I've lost all my infantry and Nope is
Losing a capture point.
having trouble trying to micro everything all at the same time, I don't blame him. Oh, he's lost both his Pathfinders. He's got fresh Pathfinders out. Yeah, that's not good. So in terms of infantry, we are not doing well at all.
Enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Tank destroyer is ready for action.
Well, the Axis now is also sitting on a ton of resources as well. So a somewhat even game. And the only outlier here is me. We get rushed by 2 guys right into the base with the Panzerwerfer.
The capture point is being overrun.
managed to utilize all of our floating resources. Now got all our armor out, and they're just going in piecemeal this time. Yellow player from middle has gone to top for some reason. He's left blue and cyan player in the middle for no reason for the most part. They're just sending themselves out one at a time. We can pick them off one at a time. Picked up another Panther. So that is where the game pretty much turns around for us. They're running out of fuel. Well, compared to us, they're running out of fuel. And why a command Panzer? I don't understand the reason behind that. Oh, it's just a cyan player. Okay. Blue still got 2 Panthers. Yellow with his 2 Panzerwerfers, I mean that combined with his infantry, that should be enough to get himself into the VP zone. So with what little infantry that we have left, we're holding on to the VPs. B4 shots. Can we lose our support weapons here to the Panzerwerfer? Good counterattack on the Axis side here.
We have casualties.
But the problem with attacking, especially against allied tank destroyers, as you move in, you can kite back, and sort of stay out of range. We do lose quite a few tanks here to mistakes, but once you're going in, you start taking damage that you can't return, and as you're retreating, we can still hit you while you can't hit us. So you gotta be careful when you make an attack like that against allied tank destroyers, because you gotta knock us all out. Otherwise, we're gonna hit you as you come into attack and as you come into retreat, as you're retreating. Sorry. So I've got 2 paratrooper squads now. I lost 2 Jacksons, but 2 Jacksons I have kept alive. They're pretty well up in veterancy. So I'm just gonna use my Pathfinder squad here, second one, because I lost the first. Reset, try to set all the beacons up around this mid VP, and then keep the paratroopers here for as long as possible. Cyan player finally wises up and realizes there's nothing here in the top, so he goes in for that. So it's a bit redundant here. Should have set it up a little bit south. And I set one up here in the north. So it's a forward observation kind of thing. So we can tell just as they're about to come in, we can then react. I'm waiting to get a 3rd squad in, I believe. And I'm relying on Lemon's B4s here because he hasn't gone for any Katyushas to deal with the blobs as they come in. The whole point here is just keep the infantry sat here, take the shots, especially when the Panzerwerfer shots come in, immediately reinforce, and just stay here for as long as possible. Nope, with his because he has the largest infantry army right now. He goes around, he helps us out. He walks the infantry to the flanks where the enemy now is running out of infantry, and we capture the victory points. So good teamwork going on here.
The situation is becoming critical. We have only 50 points remaining. Panzer Grenadiers standing by.
Panzerwerfer strike. Oh, I lose the Pathfinders again. Crew the MG with paratroopers. I think Lemon's just trying to scout out what's going on here with the shock troops.
Enemy aircraft! Drop complete. Everyone here?
Flank from the south.
We are close to defeat. 25 points remaining.
Couldn't generate enough momentum there for that flank. It was just infantry with no support. So Hope now is playing fireman. He's going around to the both flanks, trying to recapture the zones. So we're remaneuvering to capture the North Star.
Our forward installations. The territory is out of contact.
So it was a disorganized attack on the north side here. They counterattack in the middle, so I moved back into the middle of the infantry, so we didn't have enough units to generate momentum here in the north. On the south, they managed to displace our units, but they don't have anything to capture. So good counterattack by 11 here.
I fear we are losing. With 10 points remaining. Enemy forces
So we
are
take a
securing our
pretty big hit
territory.
here, but all the beacons are still up, so it can just replenish right where we are. They're moving in with their armor. So got all the infantry spread out in front of the Jacksons. So they have to come towards us. This is their final push, but it's too late. There's not much they can do. Just gonna keep everybody here in this zone. The beacons still stayed up, and the paratrooper squads, they all stayed. Oh, finally, we've got some mines. And that is the game. Yep. So late game strategy, I've done this quite a few times. You just set up a drop zone here, and put your paratroopers in. And yeah, once you get them up vetted, Panzerwerfer doesn't have enough damage to completely wipe out a whole squad. If they can time it well with an attack, yeah, you might be able to lose your paratroopers. But in the late game, when you need the bodies to capture the victory points, that's a good strat to have for the USF. All around, we had all our answers for the most part. The B4s I mean, Katyushas would have been better, but B4s were enough to deal with the blobs as they attacked in the middle. And they didn't bring out an elephant, actually. Yeah. So with all their armor, they had no answers against our mass tank destroyer spam. So yeah, that was the game.